what's up, everybody? Welcome to another exciting episode of We Hope This Finds You Well with Rob, Chuck, and Jimmy. What's up, guys?
Hey,
what's going on, everybody?
What's going on?
How's everybody doing tonight?
Same as the last 3 weeks. Pretty much just sitting in sweatpants.
So tonight, guys, we got a few things we're gonna go over. First of all, Alkaline Trio has a new 3-song EP out. Then we're gonna go over a little bit of our coronavirus lives, how we're all hanging in there. Then we're gonna do a little what you been watching, and we're gonna meat and potato it with the Tiger King. Everybody down for that?
Yeah,
that
hell
sounds
yeah.
perfect.
So first and foremost, Alkaline Trio came out with a new EP. It was within the last week, right?
Yes, very recently.
Very recently. So, I checked it out upon recommendation. I thought it was pretty good. My favorite song personally is Minds Like Minefields. It's the fastest song. It's got the most drums in it. So that's right up my alley.
Was that the first one?
That was the first one.
Once upon a time, when we both lost our minds and our memories, destroyed our common sense and the letter sent suicidal tendencies, deployed like a parachute. You had a hold in you as we went tumbling through the sky. The only thing I changed is the fear and rage and the hell I put you through. So sorry, and I can't get up the nerve to look you in the eyes as I'm leaving. And I can't go on this same old song and dance. There's murder on your feelings. Never lost for words as the tables turn. You placed me upon the wheel in the torture chamber. My remains were left next to my last meal. Now without a trace, you went off to taste the fruits of the afterlife. As I sit and stir, nightmares recur. Haven't slept a wink in 40 days or night. And I can't get up the nerve to look you in the eyes as I'm leaving. And I can't go on this same old song and dance. There's murder on your feelings. Now and again, forgotten friends crossing my mind like a minefield. Stopping to stare as do I dare diffuse this or disarm myself.
I like the kind of transition towards the end of the song too. It was nice.
Yeah, definitely.
There was like that kind of like breakdowny bridge kind of thing towards the end. It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
It felt like everything that Steve was writing for Blink-182 brought back into Alkaline Trio.
Yeah, it was very good. I thought that was by far the best. But, I don't know about by far because the acoustic song wasn't bad, too. And I'm not really an acoustic guy. I think everybody knows that about me. But I did like this song. What do you think, Chuck?
So it's kind of funny. Rob, if you'll remember way back when we started this podcast, I've never been into Alkaline Trio.
Interesting.
But it's not
true.
It's not because I never liked them. It's because I missed it somehow, you know? And I think it was like the first or second episode when we talked about this. Do you remember, Rob?
I think it was like the first or second. I think you're absolutely correct.
But anyways, I was thinking back on that, and I remember like specifically why one of the reasons I didn't listen. The first song I ever heard by them was Radio, okay, and it was on a Vagrant Records, Another Year on the Streets, which is a compilation CD, and the song was Radio, and the lyric, shaking like a dog shitting razor blades, never sat right with me.
Shaking like a dog shitting razor blades, waking up next to
It left a bad taste in my mouth, and I was like, I don't know if I like these guys.
I always used to like to play that acoustic. It was a fun acoustic song to learn when I learned we were like 16, 17. Right out the gate, shitting like a dog, or shaking like a dog shitting razor blades. And you're just like, this feels weird to sing it.
Yeah, so recently I did have an urge to listen to Alkaline Trio. I think I told you about that, like, I don't know, 1 or 2 months ago. I was like, I feel like listening to Alkaline Trio, and I did, and it was fun.
Which Alkaline Trio did you listen to? Did you go around through the whole gamut?
I have no idea. I just pushed play.
They came out with a CD within the last 2 years. It's called Is This Thing Cursed? And if you're going to listen to Alkaline Trio, this CD, I would listen to I Can't Believe or Throw Me to the Lions. Those are probably two of the better Alkaline Trio songs that I've heard in quite some time, especially the first one.
That being like an old head Alkaline Trio fan, like I literally, Chris Donachie gave me like their first EP when we were really young kids, and man, sometimes I really like their new stuff, and sometimes I don't. It's just like sometimes I miss just kind of like the earlier Roots feel, but typically that for me that's always that way. Like I always want everything to stay the way it was when I heard it the first time.
Yeah,
I do too.
I know. See, I
know you do. I like a little evolution, but I hate when it totally departs, and sometimes it does.
Definitely.
I don't. I mean, I get it, but I love evolution, and I don't like it when it's bad, but every now and then it's really good. Like, my favorite example of this is Taking Back Sunday. I think I've mentioned this before, but their last two albums, Tidal Wave and Happiness Is, whew, not quite Tell All Your Friends because of the nostalgia factor, but
sure,
it would definitely go 1, 2, 3 for the last two albums. So fucking good.
I'll check it out.
They're worth a listen, Charlie, because I fought back with those albums with Charlie, and he was right. They're definitely good.
Oh, thank you.
I'm kind of the same way with Bad Religion. I think they just keep getting better and better.
I agree wholeheartedly.
I mean, you listen to them 10, 15 years ago as opposed to now, and it's just like not even the same band.
Well, Bad Religion.
You
could listen to the Suffer album that came out like before we were born, or you could listen to what was that fucking amazing album? It came out like around our senior year.
Empire Strikes First.
There it is. Or you could go listen to the newest album they have, and it's fucking amazing no matter what. Like, it's always a hit. If you like that vein of like skate punk, political punk rock, boom. If you don't like that dude has like 3 doctorates. You don't know what you're talking about. You should fucking leave the room.
Just sit down.
Yeah, sit the fuck down.
So yeah, I don't know. What did you guys think about the other songs? You didn't even say anything, Chuck.
Well, I have trouble because I don't have a lot to compare it to when it comes to. I mean, I like them a lot, but I can't compare it to previous works. You know what I mean?
Yeah. You need to go through and do some serious searching on Alkaline Trio because there's a lot of good stuff there.
Listen, like
Yeah, so I've been
honestly,
told.
I've been yelling in his face about it pretty much since I started listening to them in 8th grade or something like that. It's fucking amazing. It's all amazing. It's always all been amazing. Even though stuff that I don't like because it doesn't fit the certain bit of them that I really like or something.
Of course,
of that nature. And I'm stubborn about it.
I'm that way with a lot of bands.
Yeah,
there's going to be songs you don't like. That just happens.
But with this EP, I really enjoyed it because it kind of gives me what I want. It gives me like the faster, more punk rock stuff with Matt Skiba.
Yes.
He brought in his more pop influenced feels, his more melody driven stuff from Blink-182, which I kind of like. And then you have those 2 other songs that are heavy with Dan Adriano and Bada Bing, and Derek fucking kills it on drums like he always does. So it's literally perfect for me. I really enjoyed it. I'm gonna listen to it constantly, probably until something else happens.
Cool.
I like it.
So yeah, double thumbs up for me. I really dug it. Like the first song, a little too poppy for me, maybe a touch, but I still dug it. I still really dug it.
I agree. Okay.
And of course, anytime Dan Adriano touches an acoustic guitar, win. So, yeah,
they do have some pretty good acoustic. I'll give it up for that. Not as good as Saves the Day, but probably not too far behind.
Yeah, they love to tour together though. Chris Conley and Dan Adriano. I've missed any show they've ever done together. I'm pretty sure Charlie's made it to one though, haven't you?
Yeah, we talked about that last time, I think.
I saw a Dan Andriano, Matt Pryor show.
Ah, there it is.
That was it.
Yeah, it was really cool.
Same people, basically. Just as we spoke about the one time, just smaller and from different parts of the country and
yeah, but
much smaller.
They're all like BFFs.
Yeah,
for sure.
Yeah. So why don't we get into our Corona life here?
Oh man, I could talk for a while about it. So for me, I'm a plumber, so I'm quote unquote essential, right?
Essential, motherfucker.
Yeah, I'm essential. So it's normal.
Another day in the office.
No, like I'm kind of like as far as like being a plumber goes, I'm a little bit of a germaphobe. I don't touch a goddamn thing in the back of my truck without gloves on because there's a high possibility something could have some doo-doo on it. You know what I mean? So I just put gloves on before I go into customers' homes. I don't like I'm an outgoing person. I like to talk to people. I like to meet new people, but sometimes I just fucking want to work. And a lot of times when you're like friendly Joe nice guy like me, people hover the whole time you're working. And now since we have this exercising a safe personal distance or whatever.
Oh, that's great.
It's fucking wonderful. People just walk right out of the fucking room.
Yeah.
Fuck the fuck right off. I get to do my job and things are fucking beautiful, man. Like outside of being terrified anytime like I sneeze or cough, or anytime I turn the goddamn news on. Just the other day, I took and switched my days off because I woke up at like 2:00 in the morning and felt fucking awful. Took my temperature, had like a 99-degree temperature, which could have just been because I had a blanket and a poodle on me, and freaked the fuck out all on my lonesome. Didn't want to wake my wife up. That would have made perfect sense because she's almost a freaking nurse practitioner at this point. So
right.
Anywho, I ended up having to switch days off because I was so freaked out thinking I had fucking the coronavirus because I had a little bit of a dry cough, even though it's allergy season in Texas right now. And I was experienced some gastrointestinal issues. And,
you had the shits.
There it is. And so I ended up switching my days off because I felt so fucking terrible. I couldn't stop sleeping. Turns out I might have just been tired and might have just had an upset belly. But yeah, outside of people wearing masks and it feeling really creepy, it's pretty cool sometimes actually, because I don't get stuck in traffic at all anymore, and that's pretty cool. And I drive
Yeah.
a lot because I live in a metroplex. This place is humongous. And so it's not been so bad except for the fact that it's been fucking terrible, you know? But yeah,
Yeah.
I'm totally freaked out, honestly, by it. So I have like a half-gallon pump deal of Purell that I basically bathe myself in, like Frank from fucking Always Sunny
Always
in
Sunny.
Philadelphia. Yeah. Must be pure.
It does feel really creepy out there, though, doesn't it?
Oh, it
It's just so
is.
like
It's
It
empty.
feels like it, man. Everyone kind of looks at you suspect, and you're kind of sizing up everyone like, I know that motherfucker didn't wash his goddamn hands.
I know. I'm looking at him. I'm like, you got a temperature, motherfucker? Like, I'll fucking drop kick you, Grandma. Get out of here.
looks like you're sweating a little bit. It's only 72 degrees outside. What the fuck is going on, Grandma?
Dude, it was. I have a funny grandma story here. So I was on my way to Target, and I think I was looking for some kind of sanitizer or something that, of course, they're sold out of. So I was walking in as this old lady was walking out. She fucking sees me. She sticks her hand out like she's gonna fucking stiff arm me. And
Oh
she's-
shit!
And she's like, 6 feet. I'm like, Jesus Christ, lady.
He said, "Dion!" Fucking stiff armed your ass.
I'm like, what are you doing? Like, if you're that
Oh,
freaked
my
out,
goodness.
you know, maybe you should send somebody else to the store for you.
I literally had a customer the other day call and request from our office. I get a text from them that says this customer requests that you wear a mask and gloves to their home and enter through the rear of the home.
Wow. Yeah.
I get in the house and I fucking shit you not. These people wanted me to change out a faucet. It wasn't broke, wasn't nothing. They didn't want me to bring a disease in and be social with me or anything like that, but they certainly had to make sure they could still get their faucet changed out at their quickest
of course.
convenience.
Yeah.
I just
course.
looked at them and I was like, we're only supposed to be doing essential work right now. I'm like, this is not essential. And she was, the lady was just like, well, meanwhile, covered in a mask and shit, standing like 30 feet away from me. I'm like, I'm sorry that the dirty plumber is going to bring something into your home, but,
You
it's you. Oh,
No.
man, I'm sorry.
You should have walked up to her and just tried to shake her hand with your shit glove.
Oh, just straight up put the doo-doo glove on her?
Yeah, hell yeah.
Walked up, gave her the dirty Hitler, like straight on her nose. Like, there you go, man, that's for you. No charge. No charge. By the way, achoo. No, people have been really cool about it. The funny thing is people doing the no shaky hand thing.
Oh yeah.
And I'm definitely born and raised a person who gives respect. You shake hands, look people in the eye, say your name, blah, 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 bullshit. And for like the first week or so of it, it's been like, and then you stop and pull your hand back. You do that kind of half weird dance thing, and then you laugh and give each other like maybe an elbow or some knuckles, and you go, "It's a fucking weird world we're living in, isn't it, pal?" Yeah, it is. Well, my shitter's right down here. Come on over here.
Yeah. And now anymore, it's like, just stay the fuck away from me, weirdo. Strangers.
Yeah.
So
Back on your side of the lawn.
I have a little funny story about coughing.
Let's hear it.
So
You food yourself?
as you guys know, Jenny works down at the local drugstore. She had a person cough on her purposely.
Oh.
So, I mean,
That's essentially the rudest thing you can do to somebody right about now.
yeah, and I've
Yeah.
seen news articles, people like getting assault charges
Be
and
assault,
whatnot.
yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously I wasn't there, but I can give you the rundown of how I understand it happened. So she was working the front register, and a lady came up in line and was getting ready to purchase whatever, and another lady came up behind her, and Jenny said, excuse me, ma'am, but if you could stay 6 feet back, we're practicing social distancing." And the lady who was at the front of the line somehow assumed that she was talking to her and took great offense to that.
That's weird.
So she walked out of the store and then ended up coming back in with some what are assumed to be her grandchildren. and possibly her daughter, and they were all like, the little kids were like pointing and laughing at Jenny, and it was real weird. And then the mom was like, "Oh, stay away from her kids. She probably has it." And then the lady got back in line to buy cigarettes or something. So Jenny asked for her ID, and she was like, "I need to scan your ID." So she got it out, and then she's like, "Oh, no, you're not touching this." And she's like, "Oh, that's fine. I'll just scan it. No big deal." And yada, yada, yada. I don't know all the details, but it ended with her going very purposely directed at my wife. And then she walked out.
I believe that's Klingon for "I'm a cunt. Have a nice day."
That's why I like to do. That's why I like to do all my business over the phone or through email. You know.
Yeah, people are fucked.
This is why I just don't fucking talk to people. Like, outside of you guys and like the people that I have as customers and a few choice other people, my circle is so small because I just don't. Not like I've lost like faith in like society or some bullshit, but I just have zero patience for shittiness. You know what I mean? Like that's just why do I need your shitty energy? The world's fucking tough enough, bitch. I don't need your fucking help.
Well, not only that, I mean, we're in our mid-30s. You don't really make too many friends in your mid-30s, do you?
I'm not really interested. I'm good. I've got a ton.
That's what I mean.
I'm not making any new friends.
I have new ones due to circumstance because of where I live, and there's some cool ass motherfuckers down here too. But you know.
But I'm not like Paul Rudd, and I love you, man. Like out there searching for dudes to hang out with. You know.
I fucking love that movie.
It's great.
Slapping the bass.
Slapping the bass.
But as for me personally, I was considered essential until Friday, and then I got laid off. Or actually, they're calling it a furlough, which is more like a leave of absence. Basically, you know, I'm on unemployment, and then when I get called back to work, I'll go back to wherever the job is for the same contractor. So it shouldn't be too bad. Plus, unemployment got a big kick with the stimulus, so we should be all right for a little while here. But
yeah, you're getting an extra $600, right?
Yeah.
It's pretty cool. I mean, it's not that much, but it's something.
It's a big difference because that extra $600 is more than the maximum amount of unemployment.
Yeah, sure, for sure.
So it's over, 100% of what they were given before.
That's pretty decent.
Is that $600 a week or $600 in general, or what is that?
Yeah,
is it one time?
No, it's an extra $600 a week, plus whatever your financial determination is prior to that. So I think the max is like $570. So you would get the $570 plus $600, but that all depends on how much you make.
But aren't they just kind of loaning that to you off of your next tax return?
No, I don't think. Actually,
that's
no.
That's the way I kind of read into it. What's that?
I think unemployment benefits are taxable.
Yeah,
I'm pretty sure
unemployment is taxable.
Yeah,
definitely.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure they're just kind of giving you like your loan, like paying out later.
I don't know how it's
kind of
really
deal.
Good now.
It's I mean, it's been like.
By that I mean I read one article about that. That's all. So
well, that's the thing. The stimulus
wrong.
package was like this and that and this and that, and nobody really knows. And then there's millions, if not billions, of dollars going into other things that it shouldn't be, whether it's Democrat or Republican. But
Yeah, but to be honest with you, that shit doesn't surprise me because any bill that passes Congress is filled with shit like that. It's been that way.
There's always something
years.
on the back end. There's always some evil shit on the back end.
Well, the reason they do that is because Congress doesn't pass a lot of bills. So when they do, they like to jam as much shit and pass as much shit as possible in there because it's
rather than
doesn't happen
fixing
every
the
day.
system. Yeah,
right.
Yeah, because they're not going to fix the system. They figure out how to work the system instead.
And again, you can look at any like a highway bill, for instance, and you're going to have shit in there about the healthcare system. It's just how it is. But yeah, for me personally, I've just been working from home, and they're canceling a lot of hearings. So I'm just trying to settle a lot of cases, with the school district through email. So a lot of sweatpants for me. I'm being responsible,
Nice.
I'm not going out really, unless it's to the store. I got a tank of gas like 2 weeks ago, and I'm still like half tank. It's fucking great.
I haven't even gotten in my car since I came home on Friday. It's kind of awesome.
Oh my god, dude, I've gone on to like life as normal. Like I'm still having to go to like regular part supply houses. I'm still having to go to Home Depot and Walmart and places to buy stuff. People are still out at the masses down here. No one gives a fuck. Like
Oh, I know. It's
they're out.
crazy.
They're
They
out
don't.
like yeah, like or it's like a bunch of crazy fucks fist fighting over some toilet paper or some dumb shit.
Yeah.
It's just like come the fuck on, guys.
Well-
Like let's all be reasonable. Go in and out when you need it. Don't buy like a mad person, and stop knocking grandma over for that 12-pack of fucking Charmin, you cunt.
Well, that's
The
another
thing is-
thing. I'm sorry, James. Go ahead.
I was gonna say. I mean, the thing is, people don't take this serious until it happens to you. So it's like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
They're all New York's getting crushed right now, and so people in Texas. I'm not picking on Texas in particular, but they're thinking, well, fuck it, that's way
Yeah,
up there in the north.
That's far away. Yep.
Well, that's and you talk to some folks, and they're legitimately afraid. So like I'll be in Fort Worth, and I'll see like 1 out of 10 people you'll see walking down the street will have gloves on or something. It's like,
Yeah.
good idea, or whatever. Maybe you have them in your pocket, and you're just waiting, or you have a napkin or some shit. And then you'll see like maybe 1 out of every 50 people will have a mask on. And it's like all these people are going in and out of buildings or doing, certain things that are deemed necessary, which is a pretty broad stroke. Like I have a family member that works at a fucking bucket company who's still working. And he's like, oh, God damn it. He's an older fella. He was like, God, I thought I was going to get some time off. But it's fucking it's madness, dude. If everyone just kind of laid low for a little while.
Well, dude, my brother lives in Queens, and
Shit.
dude, it's like ground zero, and he's like, he hasn't left his fucking house or his tiny ass apartment rather, in weeks, and it's like scary there. It's like straight out of a movie. I've seen the pictures of everybody. Everybody has masks on. Like there's lines for everything. It's like, it's bad. It's real fucking bad.
I've had to
Yeah,
wait in
that's
line
crazy.
a number of times to get into places so far. It's fucking strange. The first time I walked up to a line to get into a place, it's just like, what the fuck is going on in this world? Like, you're letting 5 people in at a time at the Home Depot. Like, I might get a lot of shit while I'm in there. Like, fuck, these people are gonna be pissed.
Yeah. Well, and so, I mean, everything's sold out in New York. So my mom actually had to mail him a package of like Purell and masks and shit like that.
Oh, nice, good, that's awesome. It's hard as fuck to find down here, dude. Like, and in my job, I'm a fucking plumber. I need paper towels and stuff.
Yeah.
It's so hard to find anything, man. Like, even like people have been going to Home Depot and buying like the shop towels. I stopped at a couple what do you call like advanced auto parts type places and looked to see if they had shop towels there, and people went in and bought those fuckers up too.
And the one thing that I think this is showing is how fragile our system really is. Like,
Absolutely, it's just how
stores are
fragile
sold
we've let it
out.
be.
yeah, it's just we've been asleep at the fucking wheel, and this is what happens. This is the end result. And of course, look who we have manning the ship right now. Jesus Christ.
Well, that's
It's
another
such a
thing.
self-serving society. It's an amazing self-serving society. Like, you have so many people standing there fucking in line buying 2,000 rolls of fucking toilet paper and shit. And at the time they didn't even have goddamn diarrhea on the list of symptoms, and everyone's out buying shit paper. It's like, what the fuck is going on here? Assholes.
I know. It's crazy.
Clean
It really
assholes.
is. Cleanest assholes.
If buy a bidet, you piece of shit. Give me something to do. I'm bored.
So, like, not to bring up my wife again, but like I said, she works down at the drugstore, and she has people coming in every day. Same people, same customers coming in every day, if not multiple times a day. Just like browsing and buying like makeup and stuff like that. It's like, well, are you not paying attention?
Dude,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
Oh, you want to hear a crazy story about people not giving a shit or paying attention? Let's talk about my dad, my 78, almost 79-year-old dad.
Oh, what's he up to? What is he up to? OMC in the house.
Dude, so this guy calls me about a week and a half ago to ask me something random. And I could tell on the phone he was sick. And I'm like, Jesus Christ, Dad. Like, what are you doing? Are you okay? You know? And he's like, oh, yeah, my voice is a little hoarse. I'm like, no, Dad, you're sick. Like, so we start freaking out. And on the phone, I was like, well, what are you doing? He's like, oh, I'm about to head down to Giant Eagle to get a money order. I'm like, what? What is wrong with you? I was like,
For what?
What do you even use money orders for? I don't know that I've ever had to buy one before.
Dude, so I don't know. My dad has this like pathological thing where he has to pay his bills with money orders.
Wow.
I'm like, I don't know why.
Does he have a checkbook?
He does.
I mean,
He does.
because you have to pay a
Dude,
fee.
he's just an
You have
old
to-
school kind of guy, that's all.
You have to pay a fee for a money order, though, and it's a small fee, but, like, if you're doing it for every bill, that adds up over time.
It's
Yeah,
like
but it doesn't attach to his bank account.
that's his thing. That's what it is.
I understand. I get it.
I mean, that's just what he does, you know?
The only time I ever got money orders was I used to work for Home City Ice,
Mm-hmm.
and if you had customers who paid in cash, you had to stop at either, Giant Eagle or Get-Go or a bank or whatever before you got back to the shop and get a money order because they wouldn't take cash when you got back. It was kind of weird.
That is
Charlie,
weird.
Scoot your foot to your right.
Me?
Scoot your foot to your right on the camera. Anyway,
So my story continues. My sisters, we're all freaking out now, thinking that, my dad has the fucking Rona, and it doesn't help that my sister calls and she's freaking out. So, we eventually just decide to, we tell him to get the coronavirus test. He waits for 5 hours in line at the Pittsburgh Zoo to get tested.
Oh, for sure.
And they're like, it takes 72 hours to get your results. Well, I talked to him the next day. He still sounded like shit. We're like, all right, well, we need to get this dude to the hospital. So we did. We dropped him off at St. Margaret's because they won't even let you in. Like, if you
no,
have to,
fuck no. Yeah.
yeah, it's like that serious. So we dropped him off. And the doc said they thought he just had bronchitis. So that was relieving. And then he got his test results, and he did come back negative. So he does not have the coronavirus.
That's
Wonderful.
that's
Super scary,
one of the last things I did before I left work is they were setting up a temporary triage area at the hospital I was working at.
Yeah, dude.
So, we had to get that all wired up and whatnot. It was weird. And my one of my bosses actually got tested also. He got tested, it was a few weeks ago, but this was before they had testing in Pittsburgh. They had to send the test results out to California. So it took him
Jesus.
like almost 2 weeks to get test results back. And
That's what it is here. That's what it is here, man.
his test results came back inconclusive.
So,
So when they did that zoo testing, he had to go back down to the zoo, which was already 2 weeks after he took the initial test, and got retested. He got to skip the line and everything because it was a retest. And he asked the one doctor, and he was like, "So, like, how many people did this happen to? These inconclusive results?" And she was like, just
all of them.
no." That's what he thought. He was like, "Was this all the tests?" And she was like, "Oh no, it's just 3 of them." So he was one of 3 with bad results.
Oh,
He also came back negative, though, so
that's good to hear.
praise the Lord.
Yeah. Scary shit, it really is. I never thought I would
down-
freak out about something like this. Like, this is like once in a, hopefully, century kind of event.
Yeah, it's super weird. Did you hear one of the employees up at Sheets
Sheets.
tested positive?
Oh, I'm never going there.
Sheets on
Again,
Halton
ever.
Road. Oh, my goodness.
Oh, that place is out of business.
I'm never going back, that's for sure.
Yeah, they closed the doors for almost 24 hours, and then they they had
Yeah.
to sanitize everything. You got to get, but yeah, I'm,
Hey,
I'm
you
gonna
gotta
stay
get in
clear of
there and
there.
throw out all- You gotta get in there and throw out all the Haggies, all those dark cookies, and
Dude.
Hey, Donna, spray those hoagies off.
Hey,
And
Donna, while you're over there, can you spray off them Haggies?
No, the only way I'm going back is if they start giving deals on Schmeggles.
Schmegel.
Listen,
Yeah,
two
yeah.
for nothing on the Schmeggles, half off of Schmuffins.
2 for 1 Schmeggles, you got my business.
Or- Listen, we'll give him 79 cents off a Schmuffin and a quarter and a half off a Schmonster.
Well, let me tell you guys the worst part about this whole thing. So as I said, I got laid off on Friday.
Outside of people dying and whatnot, right?
Yeah, I'm talking just a very personal standpoint right now.
Personal issues.
So like I said, I got laid off on Friday. Kids have been off of school for 2 weeks. This is their 3rd week now. So when they got off of school, they got sent home paperwork for 2 weeks worth of work. Now this 3rd week, all the work is being sent via email. So,
Great.
I mean, it kind of works out that I got laid off because I'm here to help sort that out and organize. But at the
Tech support.
At the same time, it is a pain in the dick. It is it's horrible. I'm kind of figuring it out, but
What's so rough with it? Isn't it? Don't they have just like a website or some shit?
no, it's just they all have school email accounts and they send the work over email like a PDF file. So then you gotta print those out, and then they gotta do their work. And they're doing fine at the work. It's not the children. It's just like the back and forth, organizing, communicating with the teachers. It's kind of working out, but at the same time, it's like I don't want to do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pain in the ass.
Because then you either have to take a picture of the work when they're done or scan it, which luckily we actually just purchased a printer with a scanner, so that makes it kind of easy. And I scan it, and it, I save it on my phone, and it links directly to my iCloud account, which then I can pull up on the computer and send it out to the emails. It's just like it's like a whole new world.
Yeah, it really is. So, I have a little bit different experience, Chuck, because I've been doing this for like 2 weeks now. I haven't been at work. So, it gets boring quick. So, what I've been doing is trying to get a lot of projects done around the house. So, it's like...
That's what I was hoping to do, but now that I see what I have to do for the kids, I don't think I'm going to have time to do anything.
Yeah, that's crazy. I mean, I'm painting closets. I got all kind of new furniture from Wayfair.
Yeah, I'm still putting in a full 8 hours just with that shit.
Yeah, that's intense.
Oh my gosh.
I did go into the office yesterday, and just like you guys said, the traffic is like nothing. Typically, it takes me at least 40 minutes to get to work. I got there in like at least maybe a half hour. It was great.
That's cool.
Yeah, I definitely went from Dallas to my house in about an hour and 10 minutes, which is like fucking flying.
Hey, I got an idea. Let's get off the doomsday affair here.
Okay.
All right, down with it.
What have you guys been watching lately?
Ooh.
Movies, TV shows. Let's catch up on that.
I've been watching a ton of movies. Like basically all the stuff on Redbox, all the good shit on Redbox, I've caught. So, I just watched that war movie, 1917.
Yeah, how was that?
How was it?
Not that good.
Really? It looked good from the previews.
It does. It's kind of dry, boring, slow. Not a lot of like cool action scenes. No one's like running through no man's land and shit like that. It's World War One. You think there would be shit like that, but it's not like that.
Huh. No Charlie all around just stuff?
No, not really. I mean, I would give it, for a war movie, 2 stars.
Ouch.
Yeah, I mean, that's where I go with that. I give it 2 stars. If that, and that's probably being generous. But I also watched Uncut Gems, and
I haven't seen that yet, and I've been wanting to watch that.
Dude, good fucking movie. Watch it. Chuck, you know what we're talking about? The Adam Sandler movie?
I do know what you're talking about. I haven't seen it either, but I'd like to.
Yeah, I recommend that. That one's down at Redbox too. It costs you like $1.98. It's not that much.
Just $1.98.
Well, they're doing a lot of stuff you can just stream on demand now too, or online. Even like theatrical releases they're putting online. It's a heftier price, but it's stuff that would be in the theater right now, which is kind of cool.
That is kind of cool. So yeah, there's that option too. I also got that Richard Jewell movie. It was okay.
Who?
Jewell.
What?
Richard Jewell. It was the guy who they thought was the Olympic bomber, but he really wasn't. He was the guy that found the bomb.
What's the movie called? Richard Jewell?
Yeah, it was all right. It kept me entertained.
I can tell by the title it's just all right.
Yeah,
it seems all right. Seems
it
just
was all right.
all right.
Real clever guys.
One of the best movies I've seen recently, though, is Knives Out.
Have you seen that?
Ooh, I saw Knives Out. That's a good movie.
Holy fuck, was that probably one of the better movies that I've seen in a while, I would say.
That movie is Ryan Johnson partially redeeming himself for what he did to the Star Wars saga. If you guys don't know, Ryan Johnson, I think he wrote and directed Knives Out, but he wrote and directed The Last Jedi, which is the episode 8 in the Skywalker saga, which is the one that is heavily frowned upon at this point. Heavily.
Yeah.
But yeah, Knives Out was awesome. Daniel Craig,
Oh my god, amazing performance.
for sure. That accent he
Yeah.
has is great.
Oh, fucking amazing, man. I love his Cajun ass.
Rob, if you don't know, it's kind of like a Clue type of movie, like a whodunit. It's a lot of fun.
It's a
That sounds
whodunit.
really good.
And the only clue I'll give you is I actually figured out the plot because of my profession. That's all I'm going to say.
Oh my god, listen
I
to this
should
guy.
hope so.
Listen to this
I
guy.
I did. I'm just going to say I figured out the
He's
plot.
fucking
okay?
He's Mr. Mustard over here.
Yeah, I did that once, and I remember it very specifically. It was I still know what she did last summer, which was the sequel to I Know What You Did Last Summer.
Right.
I figured that one out in the theater, and I was so excited. I was like, "Wait a second, I know who did it." It was, it's a good
Nailed
moment.
it.
It's a good moment.
Doesn't it makes you feel good when
It
you kind of
feels
figure
good.
that shit out?
I'm like,
it does.
I know who this fucker is.
I love that shit.
Yeah.
I always do it to my
Warms me
wife.
But
inside.
Knives Out, like that'd be a hard one to figure out because it's pretty. What's the word I'm looking for?
It hangs on like a legal. I don't want to ruin it, but it hangs on a legal principle.
Right on.
For
But
sure.
yeah, I would recommend that. The only other movie I caught recently, and I don't even care if you make fun of me, but I did watch Rocket Man, the Elton John movie.
Why would I make fun of you? Elton John's amazing.
Everybody
Dude.
loves Elton John.
Elton John kills it. Like
I don't have nothing but the greatest things to say about that fancy motherfucker.
I always was
Well,
like,
you
all
think
right,
just
this
because he
is
sucks
fucking
dick, we're
joke.
gonna hate him?
No, but it's not
Some of the
like
greatest songs of all time.
Oh,
I
for
know.
sure.
this dude fucking crushes. And I thought it was a really good movie. It was more of like a movie/musical, which, I mean, that was kind of like, not that cool, but he did have some tunes. So at the same time, pretty fucking cool.
Well, I thoroughly enjoy musicals, so I'm gonna have to check that out.
I do as well.
Did you think that was better than Bohemian Rhapsody?
I didn't see either.
Oh my god, dude.
I haven't seen Bohemian Rhapsody
Well,
yet
here's
either.
the thing. I have like little to
Children.
zero interest
I know.
in like these musical biopics. Like, just nah.
I just wish it was like
Not into
documentary or something, honestly.
Yeah,
I don't know how.
I'd rather watch a documentary.
I'd rather watch something on Freddie Mercury.
I know, but the movie was great. I like.
I'm going to watch it. I'm not opposed to watching it. I just haven't yet.
I think Bohemian Rhapsody was probably better than Rocket Man, in my opinion. I forgot I watched that too.
Hot take.
Hot take.
Hot take.
What about you guys? I keep talking about movies. Any movies you guys catch?
I haven't watched a lot of movies lately, but I have been watching a good bit of TV.
Watching a gang of TV.
I watched Hunters, which was on Amazon Prime.
Oh my
Rob,
God.
I think, did you finish it or?
I fucking finished it.
Yeah,
Oh.
I thought this was something else. What's this show all about?
So Hunters, James, stars Al Pacino as one of the main characters. It's
Hi.
about a group of Jews in the late 1970s who
Okay.
are hunting down Nazis who have been living
I love
in
it
the United
already.
States since the end of World War II.
Dude,
And-
so
Brought
this
in
shit
through
actually happened.
Operation.
It's
Brought in through
it's
Operation
based
Paperclip.
based on actual stuff that happened.
True stories,
You know,
yeah.
the story itself is, I'm sure, a bit fictional, but this stuff really happened.
the
Like
stories-
Nazis lived in the United States, brought over here by our government
I know.
for their brain
That's
power.
Yeah.
Like,
Our
how
rocket
crazy
programs,
is that?
dude.
Yeah, exactly.
NASA was basically a bunch of fucking
It was-
Nazis.
It was called Operation Paperclip. It was literally like this whole underground secret thing that they did to start NASA. Essentially, it was
Yeah.
Otto von Braun or some shit like that.
Yeah, von Braun. He was the main guy.
Yeah, bad man. But they were
He
like,
was, and he was
we'll
like
take his secrets, bring him over here.
and he was like a
it's-
bad one too. He was a straight up anti-Semite.
Oh, he was an awful human. It's like the same. It's all these like war fucking criminals. And they just
Yeah.
were like, just kidding, bring them over. Also, we had a whole movement of Nazis in the U.S. Like they had
Oh, yeah,
a
the
whole
Bund.
rally. They had the Bund, yeah. They had a whole fucking rally at Madison Square Garden and shit, like
Yeah.
or some big stadium or some
No.
shit.
Yeah,
Like
that shit blows my
You're right.
mind.
Rob, you're
Yeah,
dead
so
on.
the-
It was Madison Square Garden.
And I'll tell you this: living in the South, I've worked in an awful lot of fucking people's houses with Nazi memorabilia in their house.
Oh, that's creepy as fuck.
Like literally, a dude had a whole like curio shrine kind of thing with like first edition Third Reich shit. Like I actually like started writing a bit about it for the comedy shit that I plan on doing eventually.
Nice.
So like,
Yeah, the dude
Yeah.
was totally opposed to me bringing Mexican people up to his house until he saw the price. Then he was like, "Oh, just forget it. I'm not that down for fucking
yeah.
cause."
So Jimmy and anybody else listening, if you have access to Amazon Prime,
I
you
do.
Do
you
yourself a
should.
solid.
It's 8 episodes, so it's an easy watch. This is a great show. I'm not going to spoil anything here, but there is
It's one of Pacino's best roles, by the way.
and there's an excellent plot twist. I'm not going to spoil anything other than that, but yeah, honestly, I've never seen Pacino so good. The accent he does and all that, like,
dude.
what a great actor. I
Dude.
mean, he looks old as fuck, but he is old as fuck. He's, I think, close to 80, if not over, right?
He's about $1 million. Yeah, I mean he's younger than like De Niro and them, but not by a ton.
Yeah, I'm gonna say honestly, this is one of his greatest roles, and that's saying a lot
But yeah,
about Pacino.
It's basically about the Fourth Reich is trying to rise in the United States, and it's like part of the government and stuff in the 70s.
That's wild. I'm definitely checking that out. That seems like
Yeah,
it's right
dude,
up my alley.
it's really easy to mash through. I think it's fucking 10 episodes.
I can do that.
So
that's not that bad.
another funny thing, real quick about that show, for some reason I have terrible facial recognition. So one of the stars of this show, who's on the team of Jews, I kept recognizing his face, but I couldn't put together who it was, and it was Josh Radnor. Josh Radnor, who starred as Lonnie Flash. He was
AKA, what was it like?
Ted Mosby.
Yeah, Ted Mosby.
And it took me like 7 episodes to say, "Oh my gosh, that's
How I
Ted
Met Your Mother.
Mosby." Yeah, like I watched this guy for 8 seasons on a sitcom, and I couldn't recognize his face. So I might be, slightly on the spectrum there. But hi, guys.
He played like a movie. He played like a movie star. He plays like a movie star in the 70s.
Lonnie Flash.
Dude, so
Lonnie Flash.
have you guys ever noticed that like movies about Jews kicking ass are fucking awesome?
Incredible. There's something about me that like.
Oh, I love it. I'm like kind of like you know,
it's so fucking weird. Like, and
like
then like all you think
Defiance.
of is like,
awesome movie.
fuck those fucking fascist fucking pricks.
Oh,
You know,
dude,
like,
I know that one. Munich is a great movie.
oh yeah.
Jews kicking ass, man. Great movies.
He was kicking ass.
It-
So
Fucking Inglorious Bastards.
the other
The Mayor
thing,
Jew.
Perfect example.
the other thing I've been watching lately was just released this past Friday, Ozark season 3.
Everyone's talking
Got
about
into
that.
Ozark.
Oh my gosh, it's so good. We started on Sunday night. We watched 3 episodes because we couldn't stop. It's like one of those shows where you want to keep going because it's so good. You want the story to continue. Personally, I prefer a weekly drop of episodes, how Hulu does their original series. But every now and then it's fun to binge. So we've been binging hard. We just finished episode 6 last night. Marty Bird. Oh my God, this show's Rob, Jimmy. Are either of you familiar with Ozark?
I'm
I've
not.
not started watching it yet. I've heard it's fantastic.
I have too. I just never got into it yet.
Yeah, I highly recommend this. It's up there
I
with.
think we started watching like the first episode, and I believe in the first episode he's like jaying off in a car or something weird like that. Isn't it like it's something strange, like his wife just left him or something weird like that?
Well, she was having an affair at the beginning of the first season.
Yeah, there was some weird.
And he had it on video, so maybe that was it. I don't remember specifically.
There was
What?
some weird encounter that happened at the beginning. My wife was like, "This might not be for me," and I was like, "Possibly not." And we haven't started watching it again since.
You have to. It's up there with one of the best shows ever made, I think. Personally, in my opinion. Like it's on the level of, say, Breaking Bad, which is, highly regarded as one of the best shows ever. Jimmy, I
I would
put
know.
Hunters on as it has the potential to be one of those kind of shows for sure.
But isn't
It's-
Hunters just a one season deal?
Well, not to give anything away because I would.
They left it open. They left it open.
All right. That's all I need to know.
Oh, but the Charlie. Oh, but the ending,
Yeah,
bro.
so good.
Bro,
I didn't see it coming.
I did not see it coming.
That was
But my
crazy.
wife, being as smart as she is, she caught it on something. I remember there was something that happened. She saw it somewhere along the line.
Stop
Yeah,
talking. I'm gonna watch it.
No, we're not going to spoil it, but you're seeing all these scenes with the flashbacks, and you always got the feeling something's not something in the continuity here isn't making sense. But yeah,
Non-canonical.
Um,
Rob, what have you
I'm
been
a-
watching, buddy?
Oh man, I just blew through Hunters today. Hunters yesterday. I finished. Like we were just talking about, amazing show. Would totally, definitely tell anybody to watch that. It's fantastic. One of Pacino's best roles. And I started watching Mandalorian also, which is another installment of the Star Wars kind of universe dealy. And where'd Charlie go? And it's kind of like a Western, more or less. And I'm only a couple episodes in right now. I think I'm 2 episodes in right now. But that's about all outside of what I believe is going to be the meat and potatoes of our conversation. But yeah, mostly I've been binge watching the fuck out of those things. I always steady watch the old backups. I don't know about you, Jimmy, but me personally, I have a list of about 5 or 6 shows that I will keep on loop on my television.
well,
And
yeah.
It's typically the same 5. It's Family Guy or Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
Yep. Maybe The Office.
The Office for sure. Some shit like that. I watch a whole ton of just random nonsense on YouTube, all kinds of random weird history shit that I'll never ever need to know my whole life.
I know all the time. It's so bad.
Oh,
I'm such a dork.
Yeah. It's ridiculous, but it's kind of funny whenever randomly some of that nonsense that you've allowed to be uploaded into your brain it pops out in conversation. And you'll be like, "Oh yeah, well I believe it's blah 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 blah," and all of a sudden, they're like, "Oh, you're smart, you're worldly," and you're like, "Heck yeah, I am."
You're like, "Oh yes, the Spanish Armada was in 1588." Random shit.
Yeah, absolutely.
The only other show.
Do you fuck with any Star Wars stuff at all, Jimmy?
I go with. I've seen a couple of the newer ones. So I mean, it's cool. I don't like. I'm not a hardcore fan, and I couldn't even tell you the names of the characters, but I do find it entertaining. You know, but I don't actually follow the storyline like I probably should.
Well, since you don't, you could easily watch The Mandalorian. It's fucking what is it on? I think it's on like Hulu. Charlie, what's The Mandalorian on Hulu
No, it's on.
Is that
It's Disney Plus.
Disney Plus.
or Disney Plus? Right on.
Yeah,
I was just telling. I was just talking about The Mandalorian. What's your thoughts on it? I pretty much said it's essentially anybody could start watching and not really know what the hell.
Oh yeah,
the
absolutely. You don't need to know
Star Wars
anything.
is.
You don't need to know anything about the Star Wars
Essentially, all
universe.
you
It's
know is he's a bounty hunter.
Yeah, I know the story. My boss is a huge Star Wars fan, so that's like his shit. So he loves talking about that.
Yeah, for you
Yeah,
non-Star
I
Wars
just-
people out there, Disney actually owns Star Wars at this point in time.
Oh yeah,
So that's why that's one of their original series. That's one of their promotional series for the app.
So far, it's fantastic. It's
Yeah.
freaking phenomenal.
Yeah.
it looks
It's
pretty
like
cool.
it's
It does.
honestly like
It's
with the
very much a western.
with the reaction that the Skywalker saga has been getting. This is almost like the savior of Star Wars. It's like the Star Wars that everybody
Let's hope
wants.
so, right?
It's so good.
It's the Star Wars that everybody needs, Chuck.
It is, and yeah, the Mandalorian himself is played by Pedro Pascal. I think that's his name. Does that sound right?
It sounds right to me.
Yeah, excellent show. And like I said, you don't
And
need
it's
to know
another John
anything about
Favreau
Star
thing,
Wars.
just like John Favreau did this, and he's done tons of shit now. And he also
Oh,
was
yeah.
random guy in PCU. He was the dude with
I
dreadlocks in
know.
PCU.
That's amazing that he's in that. I've been watching a show called Billions on Showtime. It is really freaking good. It's basically about a billionaire who's a hedge fund manager, and he's a complete piece of shit, basically. But he does some good shit too. But I would really follow it. 4 seasons so far. Season 5 coming out in May.
Right on.
But and the last thing, the CNN coverage of the coronavirus is sometimes horrific and scary, but other times it's hysterical. Have you guys watched?
I don't
Chris-
watch any of that shit.
Dude,
I watched none of it, but enlighten us on it though.
Chris Cuomo and is like a host on CNN, and his brother Andrew Cuomo is the governor of New York, and these two bicker on CNN like children, and it's
That's
fucking
hilarious.
hysterical. Dude, they're talking about like making like who makes the better sauce and mom loves me more, that kind of shit. It's fucking it's great.
Oh Jesus!
It's good. It's good TV. But yeah, that's pretty much it. I try not to watch as much TV, but I'm running out of shit to do, so I might start doing some landscaping in another week or so.
Yeah, it's
Just get some
it's supposed to
fucking
get
pass
pretty
the
nice
time.
out. Yeah, how about that wind we were having the other day, Jimmy? That was crazy. We were outside, trying to rake up the pine needles and leaves, and it was like, it was like 80 degrees out, but it was also like 50-mile-per-hour winds.
Yeah,
Jesus.
it was pretty ridiculous. I heard it here, and I was like, gee, I hope the tree next to me doesn't start spewing branches all over my freaking driveway.
Oh yeah.
Oh God. We don't really have that problem down here. Well, most of the trees are pretty short, so you don't have to worry about that. But the winds get insane. I mean, obviously we get crazy tornadoes and shit, but even outside of that, it's so flat here. The wind just cuts like crazy.
You get them mean Santa Ana winds.
Get them big old Santa Ana winds coming up there from the south up here, and yeah, people are they don't bitch about it much, but it's fucking miserable.
Yeah, I feel you.
All right, so one thing we know that we've all been watching and we've all watched.
Oh God, heck
The
yeah!
entire nation has watched it under quarantine. We're gonna do it. We're gonna go into Tiger King right now.
Tiger King.
I don't
So
honestly.
basically,
I don't even know where to
if-
start.
Well, hold
Where-
on 1 second. If you've not watched Tiger King, you need to stop listening. We appreciate you listening,
Yep.
but we are going to absolutely murder this. So
Yeah, we're going all in on this. yeah, if there's any type of spoiler, it's gonna be right now.
Yeah.
So,
yeah,
Charlie,
if you
while-
haven't watched,
while we're
tune
doing that,
out and then
do
come
you wanna
back
do
after.
Do you want to do some housekeeping real quick with thanking people and telling people what we listen to and whatnot?
Yeah, I can do that right now. Is now the time?
I think now's a perfect time.
All right, I can do that. So as for that, you can check us out on.
It's called a mid-read.
Okay. You can find us on Apple Podcasts. Leave us a little rating and a little review if you so desire. We're also on Spotify, Stitcher, and our host site is Libsyn. We hope this finds you well at libsyn.com. Also, check us out on the socials on Facebook and Twitter. We actually just started a new Facebook group. We have a page, and we also have a group that we called the Found Wellers. Those are anybody who's listening right now is a Found Weller. Makes sense to me.
More
you're
than
all
likely.
welcome.
Yeah, thanks, guys. Thanks for listening.
Yeah, thanks so much, and thanks for joining the group because that's I don't know, it's kind of fun. Little way to communicate with each other. If you have anything you want us to talk about, drop it on the group there.
Are we gonna? Can we upload this video to that group? Is that the idea too?
Well, we could, but we're not recording a video because I was told not to.
How about
I mean
we're
the
gonna,
audio.
Yeah, so basically it'll be like for the group only. You guys will get some video footage.
Oh, we could do it members only.
We could do
Yeah,
that.
there you go.
Sure, that's a great idea.
Yeah.
It's been decided.
Also, one thing I did, we put together, or I'm sorry, I put together I curated a Spotify playlist of most of the songs that we have either discussed or featured on, the bumpers of our episodes. So check that out. Find me on Spotify or look up the playlist. The playlist is called Songs That Find Us Well.
That was clever. Well done, buddy. Well done.
I'm not too shabby sometimes. But yeah,
sometimes you nail it. Sometimes you do.
right now we have about an hour and 40 minutes worth of music on there, and I listened through the playlist today, and it's pretty damn good. Not gonna lie.
Pretty solid.
So yeah, check that out, and also follow that playlist because we're gonna be adding songs to it after every episode, whatever artist or music we decide to discuss in that point in time.
Okay.
True that.
Also, please support those who support us, our podcast friends. A Fireside Chat with Ryan McCormick, Mix Sauce with Ian, Paul, and Matt, Case in Point with Justin Case, More Than You Can Chew, and Thoughts from the Top of Ferris Wheel with Tiffany Moore. 4 a.m. Knows All My Secrets is a collaboration between Ryan and Tiffany. Element of Surprise, who has been sharing our posts and our episodes, so thank you to Chadwick Stewart. We appreciate that. And also the Working Stiffs podcast. It's another local Pittsburgh guys podcast.
Nice.
All right.
Well done, Charles. Well done.
On to the Tiger King.
That's right. Now that we got all that fun stuff aside and all those other people who, for some reason, decided to not listen to every other human on this earth talking about how awesome this show has been.
So Joe Exotic is, wow, he sums up 2020. He should be Times Man of the Year.
Yeah. Mr. Joe Exotic for 2020.
I mean, this guy.
Can I start you guys off with a stat?
Yeah,
you sure
sure.
can. I would love that.
It might blow your mind, okay? So as you recall on, I think it was episode 5 or 6 when he was doing the running for the governor of Oklahoma.
Yeah, he won like 23% or some shit.
So in the Libertarian primary, this was only the primary, but it's still a hefty number. In the Libertarian primary, Joe Exotic won 18.7% of the votes in Oklahoma.
It's insane.
Jesus Christ.
Now, if you break the numbers down, it's not as crazy as it sounds. The Libertarian Party is obviously, a smaller party.
I'm sure.
Based on our two-party system. 18.7% equals 664 out of the 3,558 votes. But it's still
Not bad.
That's
Not
still
bad.
a hefty
That's
number
respectable.
for somebody like Joe Exotic, who is obviously a madman.
He might be able to
Absolute
get
psycho.
sheriff or something.
Openly admits to doing drugs and
Yeah,
all this other crazy shit.
18.7%. Like, to put that in perspective, I listened to the last podcast on the left. One of the hosts of that show is Ben Kissel. Okay? He also does a political podcast called Abe Lincoln's Top Hat. And he ran for office a few years ago for something in the city. I think it was Brooklyn. He ran for the borough, whatever the borough leader there is called.
Like an alderman or some shit.
He only won 1% of the votes. And this is a very intelligent, well-spoken man. You know what I mean?
Right. It's also New York.
Yeah.
So your standards are higher.
And as corrupt as you can get.
Yeah, you got to have those connections.
So sorry,
exactly.
I just had to, do some numbers there.
No, the thing about Joe Exotic is, at one point, I thought he was a sympathetic character. You know, this fucker did have like a tough
I
childhood.
still
didn't he?
do.
For sure. I still think he's a good guy. He just, tried to
He's
murder a
out
woman.
there.
That's all.
Yeah, and I don't agree with these people in their fucking tiger amusement parks, or like you're ridiculous. I mean,
Dude, I live literally about 4 miles from one of those.
really?
Wow.
Yeah, like a place like Joe Exotic's.
Oh, that's wild. That's wild.
Yeah, like, honestly, I don't know
But
how
I
to say
can
it, but
even-
I do feel bad for him. Like, when the show is over, he ends up in jail.
Oh,
He's sentenced to 22.
79 years.
Well,
was it
the
22?
final, I think that was the maximum, but the final sentencing was 22 years. And I do feel bad for him. That's the thing. Do you guys think he deserves that time?
22. I think there's politicians that deserve more time than that.
Absolutely.
yes,
Yeah,
yes.
absolutely.
I'll think he deserves more time when I think rapists get enough time. Like, what the fuck? Like, a rapist goes to jail for 6.5 moments, if that,
Well,
and then
yeah,
a
that's the
drug
thing,
dealer goes
like-
to jail for fucking 20 years.
Don't get
And they
me
get
wrong.
that shit.
I think the dude did deserve to go to jail. He's done
For
some
sure.
fucked up shit. Even without trying to kill Carol, he's done some fucked up shit.
Without
that I
Karen, goddamn Karen.
Yeah. And
That's the
I
thing,
honest-
though. Like, all right, Jimmy, you're a lawyer. So, according to what you saw just on the show, like, did they have enough evidence for them to put him in jail for the attempted hit on Carol,
Yeah,
Carol Baskin?
they did. He just had to take an act in furtherance of that, hit, and have the criminal mentality to do so. And they had him dead to rights. It doesn't take much, dude, to catch a solicitation charge. If you're talking
Yeah.
about murdering somebody and setting it up, yeah, you don't need much for that. You just need to contact somebody, really, and for them to try to carry it out.
That's wild.
And ultimately, that's what the jury decided, So,
Well, I think that's why they added on all the extra animal charges, though, is because they didn't have enough to say, okay, he was definitely trying to put a hit on.
No, that's definitely buried.
oh, dude, that was
No matter
definitely
what.
that was definitely a strategy by the prosecution, of course. If you're like, doing all that fucked up shit to animals, you're gonna look like a piece of shit in any jury's eyes.
For sure, easily.
But
Like, what they
as
ended up
for
picking
like,
up about 5 tigers.
yeah, but
Yeah.
like when it comes to that though, like, so he says he euthanized 5 tigers by shooting them,
Shooting them in the fucking head, man.
but you're talking about 5 tigers out of hundreds, if not thousands, that he's
True. That's true.
he's possessed over the years. Like, that's not a big number. Like,
Yeah,
Don't-
okay, Chuck. There's 300 million people in this country. What if I just kill 1 or 2?
Yeah, not so good. Also, yeah.
Do you see my point?
I do see your point, but we're talking about a wild animal who is possibly sick, or maybe he was putting them out of their misery.
Well, no shit, but there's ways of going about that, dude. That's not
for you
humane
people.
shit.
For you people listening and can't see, Charlie has a fur jacket on right now, and there's is that a lion over your mantelpiece behind you with that bear rug? Yeah.
Are those mink boots you're wearing?
Oh, well, those are baby seal, aren't they?
Oh
Are those
man,
baby
I just
seal?
turned into the bad guy.
Charlie's like, and also, let me tell you about Mexicans. Anyway.
All right, dude. I know you like clubbing seals, but people love baby tigers, okay?
They weren't babies.
I know. I'm just fucking with you. But even still, I mean, we live in a fucking humane society, supposedly. Like, we put animals down humanely.
I don't think shooting a tiger between the eyes is
Shooting a tiger
inhumane.
directly in the head is not inhumane.
Thank you.
Dude,
Thank you,
I
Rob.
don't know, man. I think you fucking dart it and you fucking, you tranquilize it and then you put it down, like you would a fucking dog.
When
or
you
cat.
dart it, it stresses it out. Though I would venture to guess, I am not a professional, but I would venture to guess, being a person who has shot animals, hunting, obviously, not just randomly. I would venture to guess walking up to an animal and shooting it in the head and it not really knowing it's coming is going to be a whole lot better than a dart coming from like a modified AR-15 hits it and it takes about 30 seconds for it to go out.
Not to mention, not that this is a good defense.
And then you have to kill it.
But then you also have the cost of the drugs versus the cost of a bullet. That's not a good defense, so I digress.
Valid point.
Well, maybe,
no, but that's a valid
maybe
point.
you shouldn't own a fucking tiger park if you can't afford the fucking drugs to take care of it when they,
Valid point as well.
When you can't, that's up to the owner to fund the end of life care of those animals. You got a dog, you got a responsibility.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. What happened
Get
to
your
old?
ass out, you find that fucking dog.
What happened to Old Yeller, Jim? You ever see Old Yeller?
Yeah, well, this isn't the fucking 1850s. I know. What's
Fuck that? I'll shoot it. If I had a kid,
I didn't know we
I'm
were
just
going to have
saying
such
right now,
differing viewpoints on this. I kind of like it.
This is gonna get heated, dude.
Jimmy, let me ask you a question, right?
Fire away.
Do you or do you not own a firearm?
I do.
Okay, very good. Well done. You're an American. America.
Congratulations.
If in this theoretical world you had a child and the child was bit by an animal in your home, would you discharge that weapon at that animal? Would you kill it?
Probably not. What are we
No?
talking about? Are we talking? Do I have a
I had a
lion
fucking
in my
kid-
house?
I'm sorry, buddy. Maybe I've lived in Texas for too long, but
I'm
if
not
I
following
had a
this
kid-
either.
What I'm saying, you guys haven't lived. Listen, if I had a kid, right? If I had a child and I had a dog, and the dog bit my child and hurt it, not just like snapped at it. Obviously, that's it is what it is. But the child bit it. Like you've seen pictures of kids that get dogs bite their face, whatever. I wouldn't waste time taking it to get it put down. I'd take it out back and shoot it.
No, won't do that.
Yeah, you've been in Texas way too long.
Yeah,
You got to
dude.
come home.
Yeah.
Come home, Rob.
No.
Come
My
home.
family would have done that. No. My family would have done the same thing. Damn all that.
Yeah, right. Your mom and dad would
My
have
mom
taken-
would not. You are correct in that
You
one.
are so full of shit. Your parents definitely would not have done that.
My dad would totally have done that.
Your dad might have done that, but not with your mom there.
No, he would. Well, Bill. Yeah, it wouldn't have went down so well.
No. What was your dog's name? The little white guy?
Zero.
Zero. How could I forget? Oh my god.
We had Zero all the way up till I lived down here for about
Yeah,
a
Jimmy,
few months.
do you know what happened to Zero? Are you trying to break hearts here?
No, I
Yeah,
don't
you
even
can't
want to
talk
know.
feelings?
I'm I'm still sore about Chloe, so we don't need to talk about dead dogs now.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm sorry.
Nah. I'm not going to start tearing up here on the podcast. It's all right, guys.
She
Either
was
way,
she
we
was
ended
a
up
good
adopting-
dog.
Zero was a
Moral
great
of the-
dog, and so was Chloe.
Moral of the story is he had an awesome life down here for a while. We ended up adopting another poodle after him. And then he has a good life, and we got him a buddy. He has a Rottweiler Shepherd buddy.
Nice.
So Yeah. Unfortunately, Zero took off and went after to get himself some Texas-sized vagina, and
hit by a car or something.
hopefully he went out fighting a group of coyotes. That's the way I want to see it in my head.
It's an
TL
open
TL
case. It's a
prefers an
cold
old lady
case.
picked up. Yeah, there's still like a couple websites that advertise looking for him. He's a good dude. He had a blue mohawk when he went missing.
Nice.
He was a badass. He was an all-white poodle.
So let me get this straight. You guys advocate shooting tigers in the face. You're totally okay with that. Let's put that on,
Listen, let me back that truck
on the
up
friends.
just a few
All
feet.
right.
Can I back the truck up just a few feet? Just a few feet? I don't advocate owning a fucking tiger.
No, yeah, you're absolutely right, Rob.
Just give me 5 seconds. Let me just get this off my chest real quick here.
Go
What
ahead.
kind of a fucking psychopath decides I should own a tiger? I'm sorry. Fuck you psychopath. You think you can control a tiger because you have a pistol on your hip? You fucking need to just throw yourself in that cage and leave it locked. Just let nature take its course. Somehow you survived but natural selection somehow. And that shit pisses me off so bad. I live in Texas. Like, people have them in their backyard and don't have to ask for permission.
Listen, I'm with you there for sure. I don't have any interest in ever seeing one of these zoos or whatever you want to call them. I don't want to see a tiger. I don't want to pet a tiger cub. I have no interest in that, whatever. And I'm not like.
Part of me does want to super.
See, this is where we differ again, because I definitely want to snug the shit out of a tiger
and I'm with Jimmy on that one. I'd snuggle the fuck out of one of those.
Yeah.
And I know it's so bad, because that's what it's profiting. Because the thing is, they only stay cubs for what, 6 to 8 weeks,
And then they're prostitutes for a little while.
So
after that, you can't, profit off them anymore.
What's the bad? What's the bad part here? The profit, or what happens to the tigers afterwards?
What happens afterwards? They just turn into fucking tiger.
Where does the profit go?
Where's in Joe Exotic's pocket? Probably.
Exactly. That's not what that needs to be doing. I'm sorry, people get pissed whenever people get hunting license to go hunt in Africa, and they're like, "Why would you go there and hunt a lion?" I'm with you. I don't understand that either. But the money from that license and the money from that fucking hunt that person goes on is the only money really that gets. You have all these people talking about, oh, I'm so worried about it. I'm a member of PETA and all this stuff. It's all bullshit, dude. Most of that money comes from hunting and hunters. It's the same with the United States.
Okay,
it's the exact same way.
Let's have this debate real quick.
There you go.
Because I am definitely on that side. I don't care if you fucking hunt deer or whatever if there's an animal of abundance, go for it. But if you're going to fucking Africa and you're hunting, some wild animals that are endangered, you're a fucking piece of shit. And I know
naturally, obviously, that goes without saying.
I know the licenses pay for it and all that shit, but therein lies the problem. Maybe that should be funded, on a global scale. So maybe the UN should fund some conservation efforts or something.
For sure. But for now, that's the way that things get paid for.
I understand. That's why you need to fucking break that cycle, because it's counterintuitive. It really is. We want to save them by killing them. It's Rob, so fucking backwards to me.
Rob, look how hard he's pacing right now.
Oh,
I know.
Dude,
but you're not making any sense, and that's hilarious. You're saying in this cute little theoretical world that you live in, tomorrow it's going to fix itself. That's beautiful. No, for now, that's what works. It's a broken system. We need to make sure that we get the proper people in office that'll take care of that and make that system better. But for now, that's what works. There's no sense in saying anything further than that. And to say about this somehow the world is just going to make that right wrong or wrong right. I apologize. That's fucking silly, man. It kills me. There's one that's like the one issue that I give a shit about. Oh, but you give a shit about something that you don't make sense about. I'm sorry. Nobody's going to sell me on killing these animals is saving them. I don't care about your fucking licensing fees. No one cares about no damn licensing fees. I would never go to Africa. I would never spend money to shoot one of those things. All I'm saying is until someone comes up with a better way to do something, these tree huggers should probably hold a little bit more of their fucking weight in the situation. And it's not just people with the licensing fees. I mean, there's
there's poachers that fucking kill these animals for like rhino horns and shit.
Well, yeah, for sure. Those are awful humans too.
Well, they do it because the
they're
fucking
just
Chinese
ones-
love it.
Well, yeah, for sure. They still fucking kill sharks and shit for their, the fucking dorsal fin or some dumb shit.
And the thing is, they think it's gonna like grow their dick or something. It's like, dude, you've been doing this shit for centuries. You still have tiny dicks. It's not working.
Well, here's the thing. Here's the thing, guys. Jimmy John's makes a great sandwich.
Fuck Jimmy John's, that fat piece of shit. If I ever fucking saw him, I'd hunt his fat ass.
Jimmy John's? Jimmy John's makes an okay sandwich, but it's overpriced at best.
Jimmy John's sucks. It's the fucking worst food ever. I never go there. I actually went there once, and it was terrible. So the guys,
I've been there a few times out of desperation. You can't get a good hoagie down here.
it's garbage, dude. All bread, little meat, and it's not even good. Garbage.
Oh no, you got to go with the gargantuan, but then you end up paying like $16 for a hoagie. It's kind of a wrap. It's a racket.
Yeah, fuck.
But
him.
to nip that in the bud, I just want you to understand. I don't think anybody should hunt lions except for the people who live there if they have a lion that's killing people.
Mhm.
Outside of that, I don't think outside of that, I don't think it matters. Unfortunately, the way those governments are set up, that's the only way that those tribes get money is because they help with those kind of things. And
I
they're only
understand.
supposed to be shooting all of that shit. But until we get proper people in the right positioning, not making their pockets fat, that's not going to work. And you're just going to have weird people like Dennis just deciding to shoot a fucking giraffe as if it isn't the size of like most buildings and shit.
So how do
Assholes.
you guys feel about Carol Baskin?
Oh, Carol.
Oh, that bitch.
Totally killed her husband, first of all.
Yeah,
Yes.
you know what, Jimmy, from your perspective, have you looked into that any further?
I haven't done any research into it, but I mean, Jesus Christ. The will, let's talk about the will and the power of attorney because this is important. I've been doing wills and powers of attorney for over 10 years now, and I have never, ever, ever once put in any client's will that if they go missing, this document comes into effect. Never. You're never going to see
how about that? That was weird.
That's
That-
really weirdly
Yeah,
specific.
Even the lawyer on the show said this exact thing you just said. Like, this is
Dude.
not a normal wording.
Nope. Never seen it. I've never seen it in any example of any will I've ever seen or one I've ever done personally. And to be quite honest, if somebody requested that or somebody's spouse did, rather, I would try to pull that client aside and be like, listen, buddy.
This bitch is trying to get you, bro.
yeah. Yeah.
Careful.
Yeah.
But anyway, I'm going to sell life insurance on the side hustle.
Right? And then you throw the life insurance and these people own a tiger farm. It's it's super easy to get rid of a body that way.
He slipped into the tank and they ate him. Yeah. Weird. Where the doo-doo at? Where the doo-doo at?
Do you guys think there's any chance that he just went to Costa Rica and stayed and left her money?
Not one chance.
No.
I think she killed him.
What about the next guy in line? How weirdly, oddly strange is that guy?
Oh my god!
First of all,
I think he
Doc-
was my most hated character on that show.
The
I can't stand that guy.
He was just
Howard.
like this weird beta male, fucking just awful.
Yeah, exactly. Beta Bale. Yep.
how was he a beta male? The dude had 9 wives.
No, we're talking about
Time out.
Carol's.
Hey.
We're talking about Carol's husband, Howard.
Oh, yeah. Oh, my God. Yeah,
What a
that guy's
douche.
a piece of shit.
He's just like, baby, can I hold your purse for you
Yeah.
too while I'm standing here?
That
Please,
guy's-
I'd love to. I'm
Such a
gonna wear
bitch.
the hat too to support you.
And then on the last episode when he was singing that song, I was like, what the fuck is this guy
Oh.
doing?
So uncomfortable.
Yeah, these people are out of their minds.
Out of their
All of
goddamn
them.
tip.
All of them.
Yeah. Not normal.
Dude, have you guys seen the one boyfriend got his grill fixed? The one that had
Yeah.
the fucking Florida Gators tattoo and the tap out tattoo and never had a shirt on for sex appeal.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
The one that said property of Joe Exotic.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he had the. Oh my god, I got
that
so
covered
mad.
up.
I started screaming at the TV, and TL kind of looked at me kind of sideways because I got so mad because they were like, "We're gonna get it covered up so no one can ever see it," and then they didn't cover the whole tattoo.
Right, there were
They
still
left, like, the
letters
majority-
sticking out.
I was like, "What the fucking fuck, man? Like, put some smoke around it or something. Like, try to hide the motherfucker." It's
Yeah, you need
already
some
so
kind of
terrible.
filler there. Yeah.
Yeah, that poor guy. He seemed like he might have been a little like gay for pay or something like that. He was a little
I think
strange,
they all
wasn't
are.
he?
They're all just meth heads.
No, he was, because remember he got the one girl pregnant, and they ended up getting married, I think.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
that's right.
I don't know, the secretary or the whatever the girl was worked for
The
Joe.
cashier or some shit.
He knocked her up.
I've watched like the catch up. Excuse me. I've watched like the catching up with them now on YouTube, and it's like I'm a welder now. Dude's like a welder, got his teeth fixed and shit, got himself a new
Nice.
family.
Good for him.
Hell
But,
yeah.
Okay, but
Yeah.
what about Travis though? What a
That poor guy.
travesty! Oh my gosh, that was sad.
That's the guy that killed himself by accident?
Because he was like, "Oh, Rugers can't shoot without the magazine in
I
them."
don't. It
But
wasn't accidental, Jimmy. There was.
No, he did that. Yeah, it was a real deal.
Yeah.
What do you mean? You
It
really
was
think there was
weird,
intent
because
behind that?
to me, it didn't seem like it. But then again, you can't see him. To everyone that was like around it, they kind of made it seem like it was an accident.
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
No, I didn't
I'm
see.
sorry, that's
I
the
didn't see that
suicide.
at all. I thought it was just a purposeful suicide.
Well, he had mentioned that a Ruger cannot shoot. I haven't looked it up, so I really don't know. And I've owned one Ruger, and I don't remember. But apparently, he thought it was this type of gun that can, like, if you take the magazine out of the gun, it won't fire even if it has a round in the chamber. Apparently, it wasn't. And it shot.
Well, don't you remember right before that scene, he told the one other guy, "I'm gonna smoke my last cigarette before I die." And
Ooh,
then,
I missed that part.
and
I
then
did miss that part.
And then he went into the office where the campaign manager, Josh, was sitting in there, and Josh said he was pointing the gun at him. He said, "What did I tell you about pointing the gun? Don't point the gun at me." And then he turned the gun to himself, and then you see the video evidence from there. You see the flash, and Josh's face is just like, "What? What
Yeah,
just
the poor
happened?"
bastard didn't even believe that it happened. He like went and looked at him and was like, "Oh my shit, fuck!"
Yeah,
Like backed up. Like Jesus Christ!
Yeah,
on
I don't
crack.
think-
And that's
I
crazy.
think there was intent there. Unfortunately,
I don't know, but I think, didn't he tell the campaign manager dude, like, oh, look, the gun's not loaded, see? And then did it?
Maybe I missed that part.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. I think he was telling that dude that you can't shoot that gun with the magazine out. And he was
Yeah.
like, it's not loaded, meaning that there wasn't a magazine in it. And he
Right.
faked himself.
Either way, it's really sad.
Super
Yeah,
sad.
either way. And then that poor guy, the last dude who ended up the newest husband, the other guy,
Dylan.
Dylan. I felt terrible for Dylan at the end of that. I'm like, this dude seems like he legitimately cares about homeboy.
Yeah.
And just locked the fuck up for what 22 years at least or some shit. And now he's countersuing like everybody for like, you know, all kinds of words Jimmy probably knows. But you should look into that, Jimmy. He's trying to sue the fuck out of everybody.
Well, yeah, he gave the PETA lady, the PETA attorney, a list of names and offenses.
Yeah. So he's coming after everybody. He's coming after that Chucky doll guy.
So he might end up getting a deal like 10 years or something after all that.
Could. Yeah, they could let him out early.
Yeah, because he apparently has got a lot of shit on some people's.
Yeah. And
But yeah, it was
kind
kinda
of
like
big fish.
Yeah, it was weird to watch that show because it felt like it was just like, wait, who's the fucking rat? Oh, that's the rat. Oh, never mind, that's not the rat. That's the fucking rat. It like kept jumping around. It's like finally you figure out like, oh my god, all these people are fucking shady and shitty as fuck.
Yeah,
Dude,
how
all of them.
about that Jeff Lowe guy? What
How about
a
it?
tool,
Oh,
man! I can't.
Oh, he's-
him and his henchman. What was it?
The way he like talked, he
His
like flaunted
henchman
he had
who-
all this money.
Like that guy seemed like he was dumb as a box of rocks. Not Jeff, but his guy, his minion. If
He
you
just
will.
seemed like he was like a day laborer that the dude
Yeah.
knew he could talk into some shit.
Definitely. Just a
Okay,
day
I'll
labor.
go kill somebody. Ain't
Yeah,
no
like,
problem.
maybe.
Oh, I got
Let me get one of them 60 rocks of meth. I'll go do whatever you need me to do, brother.
plans.
First of all,
plans change. I went to a strip club.
yeah,
I heard they had a great buffet.
dude, with that Jeff guy. First of all, with that Jeff guy, if you're a 50-year-old man and you're dressing like a mid-20s douchebag,
Oh my god. The
Like,
fucking flat
you're a
brimmed
fucking
hat with the
pro.
bandana underneath, like
It,
and like the Ed
giant
Hardy
watches.
shirts,
oh yeah,
Giant-
Affliction.
the fucking jeans, like, dude,
The
you are a
bandana.
fucking the
Man.
bandana. You are a fucking douchebag. And dudes at
The
our age,
bandana under the hat looks good for nobody other than like people who are unfortunately going through chemo. Outside of that, no one should wear the bandana underneath the
I
hat.
feel bad for the young wife he has who was about to have a baby at the end, and then he's looking up hot nannies like, oh yeah, I get to pick
That
the
was the most
nanny.
uncomfortable shit.
yeah.
I
I
was
was
like, are you
stacking
kidding me? Like,
15.
how is this girl putting up with that as she's
First of
9
all-
months pregnant?
All these weird tiger people are somehow able to attract multiple women who are okay with him having multiple relationships.
Yeah,
So
we didn't even
they're
tackle Doc Antle yet.
yeah,
Right.
that's what I mean. That guy was the to me, he was the coolest up until you find out that he basically has a gas chamber for tigers, which is appalling.
Right? Yeah.
Yeah, Jesus fucking Christ.
Well, how's a gas chamber compared to a bullet to the head?
Bullet
I don't know,
is
dude.
still
They're
way
both
better
terrible.
than that. A bullet is still way better.
Hang on.
But
Maybe.
yeah, that guy. I mean, he seemed all right. Besides, like the whole polygamy thing, I guess. But they weren't really married. But then in I think it was the maybe second or third episode, he had the one girlfriend on there who was, spilling all the beans about him, about like, the cockroaches and whatnot, and sleeping in the stables.
Oh, Jesus.
Yeah, I don't know. What a crazy show. What a crazy.
All together, it was
Group
just
of
like it was just
people.
nuttier after crazier after
Like-
fucking weirder.
I never want to hang out with like tiger people.
No.
They're pretty much the worst.
Can't trust tiger people.
Don't trust them. What do you?
Sorry.
And also don't support them. It's fucking weird. What the hell you want to own tigers and fucking bears and shit for? What's wrong with you?
All right. What about the music videos and the country songs?
Oh, here's the best thing about those music videos. He's not actually singing hardly any of it. He sings a little bit of backup.
know. I
most of it.
just saw that article today. That's like
He
I mean,
doesn't play any guitar on it.
I kind of assume that, but then like I saw him singing at Travis's funeral and he sounded okay.
Yeah, but he doesn't
No, he
strike me
didn't.
as a guy who can. Yeah, first of all, no, he didn't.
Oh, my
And
bad.
second-
No, he fucking didn't.
My bad.
And-
I was watching it. I
and-
was like, "Oh, look, he is singing." All right.
And Joe
At
Exotic
that
just-
funeral is whenever I was like, wait a minute, no, this is bullshit. This dude can't sing for fucking shit. Something's going on here.
And he doesn't strike me as any kind of musician. Like, I don't think he can play the guitar or the drums or
No,
any
he
of those
can't at all.
instruments.
Did you
So-
see the way he was holding the guitar and fake playing it? I fucking hate that. I'm like, show him what a chord looks like. Show him a chord shape, and then just tell him to keep their hand there. I
Right.
fucking hate that music videos.
I know. So bad. So bad. But yeah, I mean, Doc was crazy.
I
This dude
saw
had like
Tiger.
Doc
And the
had like
tiger
9
saw a
wives,
man.
and you know,
Dude,
Doc's,
I'm obsessed over all the memes and shit, though. It's fucking amazing.
dude, there's like millions of them, and they're all
Millions.
hysterical. That's what I love about
Wait,
the
did you
internet.
guys see that there's actually a mural that somebody did in
in
Pittsburgh?
Pittsburgh? Yeah,
In
I heard
Pittsburgh.
about that.
Of all places, of course it's here.
I know.
That's
That shit is
amazing.
fucking like, it's so popular right now. It's crazy.
It is popular. It's this dude's going to be a national sensation. As soon, because of all this attention, he's somehow going to get out a little bit early.
All right, I want to cover one more guy here before we wrap it up. What do you guys think about this James Garretson fella who was just a business person, if you will? He was the one who was working for the feds, and he had the
Oh, that
really
fucking-
big double chin.
That rat fucking bastard. Fuck him. that fucking rat piece of shit.
That's
the big Chucky doll looking guy.
That's
Yeah,
how
fuck
Joe
that
Exotic
guy.
described him at the end.
Yep.
What about
Yes,
what?
it is.
How about that scene at the very end of the last episode where he's riding on the jet ski? What was that about?
I don't even know, but who gives haircuts in that neighborhood, man?
Oh,
Everybody
so
in the whole
bad.
place.
Pretty sure he
Like,
did it
Jesus
himself.
fucking Christ. Why do rich people... I've seen so many wealthy people with just god-awful fucking haircuts.
Yeah, that was bad.
You have all the money in the world, man. Why
That
do you
was
have,
real
like,
bad.
a weird pink boy haircut?
Yeah, well, we're all talking shit right now, but if this shit keeps going on and the barbers are closed, we're all gonna look like that motherfucker.
Well, look at
Yeah,
hey,
sure.
look at me.
Well, yeah.
I see you, Jeebus.
Well, you're about to see my blonde mullet.
Yeah, yeah, for sure.
Actually,
My shit, I freshly got barbered up about 2 weeks ago, so I'm not so bad.
Me too.
Jenny just gave Tommy a haircut, and it actually turned out pretty well. She did like a basic scissor cut, and then I cleaned up the neck, so teamwork, and Tommy's looking pretty damn good.
Pretty fresh.
Pretty
Nice.
damn good. So we'll survive.
Yeah.
You guys got anything else on your mind about the Tiger King before we wrap it up?
Let me think.
I don't.
I mean, there's so much to
Think
say.
so.
I'm sure we could go on for hours, but we
Definitely.
got to wrap it up here sometime.
Yeah. The only thing we didn't talk about though is like his ensemble with his snazzy sequin T-shirts.
Oh my gosh, you're right. We should dip into that real quick here, though.
Well,
All
how
of his accessories.
My favorite shit is that belt that is a pair of handcuffs.
Oh, the best.
Holy fucking
I didn't
shit,
even
he's got-
notice that.
He's got handcuffs. He's got the greatest ensemble of all time. He's got basically Jack Sparrow boots on. They're like the big giant leather boots, like fucking pirates. And then he has like black fucking probably holy weird studded jeans. And then he's got this fucking weird set of handcuffs over his cock and like a Tractor Supply fucking cowboy hat on. It's the weirdest fucking shit you'd ever see ever.
Wait,
And a bolo.
Amazing.
How about whenever his one worker got her arm bitten off? And he had on an EMT jacket.
Yeah.
He had enough time to go run to wherever he wanted to go and put an EMT
Like,
jacket on and
where
get back.
did he pull that out of?
His left ass, dude.
Hold
that
on,
was so funny.
I got a jacket just great for this occasion. I'll be right back.
And
then
how
he goes
off to his trailer.
how about that girl though? Like back to work. I think what she said 9 days after her arm
Not
got
even a week.
amputated.
I think it was like 5 days, dude.
Yeah,
like,
that's
like a week.
crazy.
just like fucking cut her off. Let's
Yeah,
do
cut
this
it
shit.
off. I got to get back to work.
Dude, and when it went down, he went to the customer. He's like, "Nah, I ain't gonna bullshit you."
In the gift shop. Yeah. Yeah, I think that's how that episode opened. He walks in the gift shop and he says,
No, I ain't gonna bullshit.
"We had an
you.
employee get attacked by a tiger and her arm got bitten off. So you can either get a refund or a rain check."
I'll give you your money back right now.
I ain't gonna bullshit you. That's the most beautiful shit ever.
And speaking of his employees, the most normal person in the show was the zoo manager, the guy who didn't have legs.
Yeah.
I think his
he's
name
a
was
normal dude.
Renke or something. He seemed like just
The
like
guy-
a normal dude.
Yeah, yeah.
Probably
There was
still a meth head though. I'm just judging.
Yeah, although he did have some good chompers in though, but they didn't look like they were his.
Yeah, I
Right.
guess.
There
But
was
he
that
seemed
other
like
dude that
he was
he
like
looked-
well spoken and like his thoughts were kind of like you could, almost logical. if
Yeah,
you will.
but
they're
you take
sort of
one look at that. You take one look at that guy, and you know he has a past
yeah,
seen
yeah,
some shit.
sure.
and done some
The
shit.
other dude that was creepy is though he was one of the handlers, and he looked kind of
Oh
like
yeah,
he looked.
he had
kinda
the
like-
sunglasses on the whole time.
Did he? He was the guy that looked kind of like one of the Devil's Rejects. Like he had
Yeah,
like the long,
The
stringy
long blonde
white hair.
hair, like hanging over his
yeah.
face. Oh yeah, he
And
was
then
wild.
Eventually, they interview him, and he's all like drunk or something, probably more than anything. He's like talking about like
Oh yeah.
missing the cats and stuff. And, it
No,
broke my
yeah,
heart.
you're right. In the last episode, when he had to get dressed up or whatever to go to court, and then they had him in, it looked like a hotel room, but he looked
Yeah.
so messed up.
Yeah,
and then he
it
just
broke
like,
my heart, man.
yeah,
They kind of turned it into a PETA video at the very end there, though. It kind of felt like, in a good way, though. Like, I mean, obviously, like, people who are watching that need to understand, like, then this shit's not really that good. Just because we can see them doesn't mean we need to.
yeah, like these
Yeah.
these are the people profiting off of this. Profiting?
Yeah, profiting.
Excuse me. These are the people
Profiting.
profiting off of this, and this is what the money's going to. Just these drugs and lavish lifestyles. Like, yeah. I guess-
Interestingly weird, lavish lifestyles, too.
It's just
For
the whole
sure.
breeding thing. It's like, once they can't take care of them anymore, then what the fuck do they do? It's just like, it looks like it's run half-assed too. They're always struggling to
God,
find
yeah.
enough food for the animals. And they showed at one time they like cut that fucking Jeff Lowe jag off, cut their rations in half. Like, Jesus
oh, man,
Christ,
I hate
dude.
that guy.
Oh, that was awful. That piece of shit. There's
Oh.
the one that's not too far away from where I live. There's always like overgrown weeds everywhere and shit. I'm like, oh man, I'm never going
You
in
know
that motherfucker. One of those animals are gonna get out.
That's another thing about Carol Baskin. Now I sound like Joe Exotic.
Fucking Carol Baskin, you piece of
Fucking
shit.
Carol Baskin. How
Like-
fucking creepy it was, like, though, him like knocking her head off of shit and shooting the head off of like
Oh, yeah,
her
for
dummies.
sure.
And
Yeah,
For
way
sure,
over
he
the
was
top.
fucked
Meth
up.
head shit.
But listen, her park looked like shit compared to any of the other ones, and her tigers looked like shit compared to any other ones. They were pacing back and forth. They were skinnier.
Oh yeah, they didn't look
They-
comfortable.
they didn't look good at all. Nothing.
Yeah.
I don't.
Not,
Carol
I
Baskin.
don't think any of these parks are good. And to be honest with you, if you've been to Living Treasures up near Hidden Valley,
I have.
it's the same thing. Their tiger or whatever lion enclosure is horrific. It's like a tiny
I'm sure
little
it is. I
mud
haven't been
pit.
there since I was a child, but I'm sure
It's
is.
bad. I hate it. And that's the thing. That's the only exhibit that's like that. Everything else is super nice up there. It's just for some reason they decided, fuck it, we're gonna fuck over these, the big
Yeah,
cats.
fuck these beautiful creatures. Yeah, fuck these things.
Interesting.
Just my perspective on it.
All right, boys, let's wrap it up here. It's been an
Wrap it
episode. Like I
Okay.
said before, check us out on iTunes, Spotify, Stitcher, or Libsyn, and check out that fucking playlist I put up on Spotify.
Check it out.
You can either search me because I made the playlist, or the playlist itself is called "Songs That Find Us Well," or "Songs That Find Us Well." Yeah, that's it. And check us out on the socials on Facebook and Twitter. Join that new Facebook group. It may be a lot of fun if anybody participates.
Maybe we'll start putting some video footage up also, possibly.
Yeah, if Yins allow me to record a video, I can do that.
Yeah, we could talk about that.
All right.
We'll talk about it. All right then. Okay, thanks for listening. I'm Chuck,
I'm Rob.
And I'm Jimmy.
and we hope this finds you well.
Tell all the hunters to lay down their guns. Tell them that the tiger needs a little bit of love. Let them run the jungle. Let them roam their land. Then stand back and marvel. What a beautiful cat. 'Cause I saw a tiger. Now I understand. I saw a tiger, and the tiger saw a man. I can give him a home, safe and warm. But the law wants to ban me. Can you tell me who's wrong? Every time they move, every time they breathe, I can feel their power, I can feel their peace. 'Cause I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger, the tiger saw a man. Well, I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger, and the tiger ticking, they'll soon be gone. So you better take a picture. What a sad, sad song. We'll call it Armageddon. Such a painful loss. When they kill all the tigers in the Holocaust. 'Cause I saw a tiger, now I understand. I saw a tiger, tiger saw me. I saw a tiger, tiger saw me. I saw a tiger, the tiger saw me.